Hi, this is Son of the Honda Mechanic, bringing you another Top 5. This time it's my Top 5 Scariest Games. Now, we don't really celebrate Halloween in Finland, but, you know, everybody's doing videos about scary videos. Gexup did his survival horror thing, so I decided, you know, what the hell, I'll do a list of my Top 5 Scariest Games. But I like to remind everybody that this is not a list of my, this is not a Top 5 survival horror games list. Because I've actually very recently only gotten into survival horror games, and I haven't really played enough of them to even make a top 10, and even doing a top 5 would be really pushing it. So just to make that clear, so nobody, so it won't be an issue. This is a list of 5 scary games, not 5 survival horror games.
Number 5.
Well, this first one I don't have a cover art to show you myself because I only had this game on the Virtual Console on the Wii. But thanks to the miracles of the internet, I can still show the cover art for you. So here it is, Splatterhouse for the TurboGrafx 16. Now I know what you're thinking. This is a 16-bit beat-em-up from the early 90s. How could it possibly be a scary game? Well, it's not so much scary as it is just fucking awesome. I mean, yes, I have the censored European version, but still, you get to handle zombies over with a 2x4. They're going, flying, it's splatting green stuff all over the place, and even the main character looks like a character, the villain from a slasher movie, or Jason Voorhees. I mean, I have a lot of respect for the people who made Splatterhouse back in the day, because the monsters just look fucking messed up. I mean, it is, and the music is also great. It is a little cheesy, it's a little over the top, but it has a great creepy atmosphere nevertheless. The final level is just fucking messed up. And you don't even get the sort of traditional happy ending that was really the norm with this sort of games back in the day. You fight your own girlfriend, the one you've been trying to save for the entire game. She turns into a monster and then you have to fight her. I mean, that is just fucking wow. And I know that the new Splatterhouse is coming out on the Xbox 360, and I'll definitely be checking that out as well. Number 4. Silent Hill Shattered Memories. Now, I've heard a lot of complaints about Silent Hill Shattered Memories, how you can't fight the monsters, and how it's really sort of a remake of the first Silent Hill. And I'll admit, because I've never owned a PlayStation myself, I haven't played the other Silent Hill games. And if people have an opinion that in their minds the older Silent Hill games are better, I can't argue with that because I haven't really played any of them. But to my mind, Silent Hill Shattered Memories was actually a really good game. I mean, it's not it's not excellent, it's not incredibly superb, but it is different, and that's what I liked about it. It first of all had a really creepy atmosphere, and that is the number one thing that I look for in a survival horror game. I really look for a good atmosphere. Secondly, the fact that you couldn't fight the monsters, in my view, just added to the challenge of the game, because really, once survival horror games have started to get very, very action-heavy, like with Resident Evil 4, then they really become just third-person shooters and not really survival horror games. Thirdly, the story was still excellent, and I love the fact that you can change it and affect it in different kinds of ways. But I will consent that the game is a little short and definitely a little easy. And even though it has a lot of replay value because you can affect things that happen in the game, and of course there's several endings to this game, the main problem is because the game is so short, you'll easily memorize, how you solve all the puzzles and stuff. And there's not really much of a challenge in playing it after that. However, I did like it very much, and I do think that visually it's also very appealing. Although for some reason I thought the human characters, they were kind of unappealing for some reason. But the story is good, it has a lot of great scares and a great atmosphere, and it'll fuck you over in a few places, or fuck your mind over in a few places. So honestly, if you're looking for a good horror game on the Wii, this one is definitely worth getting. Number 3. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Okay, I knew, it's kind of hypocritical. I'm sorry. Well, at any rate, it's Resident Evil, the remake of the original, released for the GameCube, and now also available for the Wii. Yeah, well, you know, Resident Evil, granddaddy of all survival horror games. Well, actually not, that's the Alone in the Dark games. But I have to say, I really enjoyed the remake of the first Resident Evil. I mean, the atmosphere in that mansion was just perfect. I mean, I loved the monsters, I loved the scares, you know, it was great. But I know that a lot of people are not fans of the original gameplay of the Resident Evil games. And I can understand that because I'm not a big fan of them myself. I mean, I was just frustrated as all hell with Code Veronica X. But not only is the gameplay much better in this remade version of the game, it also gives you a lot of options on how to play the game. I mean, you can even play it with just your Wii mode, but personally I prefer the classic controller because of the bigger D-pad. And the upgraded graphic look just makes the game extra scary. In fact, the only thing that I miss about the original Resident Evil on the PlayStation is actually the cheesy voiceover. I kinda like that more than the new, more seriously minded voiceovers, because especially when you're playing as Chris, in the cutscenes, the character's dialogue just sounds really boring. I mean, what can I say? I love the scares, but I think the characters are two-dimensional and boring. Oh, makes me want to take a bite out of a Jill sandwich. That didn't sound anything like Barry. But really, if you didn't get this game on the GameCube, then you better get it now, because it is just perfect on the Wii. And it's especially effective against living things. Number 2. Fucking Manhunt 2, man. I mean, what can I say about this game? It is just fucked up beyond belief. I mean, the atmosphere of this game is just brilliant. I mean, you just go to all these creepy locations, you got all kinds of fucked up, messed up shit all over the place. You go to a Essendon dungeon at one point where there's techno music just blaring everywhere, and oh my god. Then to top it off, you're a psychopathic killer yourself. I mean, it really feels like you're never safe in this game. And the creepiest part about it is that the only way to get around is to sneak up behind people and kill them with knives, pieces of glass, bricks, and all kinds of fucked up shit. I mean, you're stalking around trying to kill everybody. There's people stalking around for you trying to kill you. And on top of it, you're just completely confused as to what the fuck's going on, who are you, where do you come from, and, you know, why did you kill your family? And even when you get a gun, you really don't have an effective way of defending yourself. I mean, you have to be really, really careful when you run around. It's, you know, it's Rockstar, but it's nothing like the Grand Theft Auto games. I mean, this game is like this creepy eye that's peering from the cover. It's like, it stares into your soul and makes you want to do bad stuff. I mean, this game is living proof that just because the graphics might be a little outdated or something like that, it doesn't mean the game can't be scary as fuck. So why is this game only number 2 and not number 1? Well, the camera controls suck. The number 1 most underrated survival horror game of all time, Eternal Darkness: Sanity's Requiem. I mean, this is a really good horror game. I mean, let's take a look inside. This isn't really happening! But yeah, the game takes its inspiration from the writings of H.P. Lovecraft, and besides that, everybody knows about the sanity effects, probably. If you've heard about this game, you probably know that's the main attraction. And it is really the most amazing thing about this game, is just how it fucks your brain over if you let your sanity drop to dangerous levels. But besides that, I think the plot and the gameplay of this game have been greatly overlooked. I mean, it's much better to play than a lot of other survival horror games. And the plot, well, okay, so the main storyline is pretty straightforward, but it's because of the individual characters that you get to play as. Their personal stories are really what add to it, and the fact that you get to play as them all, they all play a little differently, they all have a slightly different arsenal of weapons. Some of them can't run as fast, or some can't run as long as others, and it really just adds a lot of variety to the game. Not to mention that the music and voice acting in this game is absolutely top-notch. So really, if you want to scare your pants off, you gotta play this game. So really, if you want to scare your pants off, you gotta play this game. See you on the next one! I don't know if you can hear that, that's an air... They're testing out the air raid sirens.